It's time to predict the scores of week 33 of this 2022-2023 Premier League season. As you may or may not notice, Nathan isn't with me today. However, he has left me his scores to pass on to you. Last week, in game week 32, top scorer with a magnificent score of 13.5 points was Frank Bottom FC, and Frank came away with 3 perfect scores as well. Looking at the overall leaderboard, well, yet again, Ferris 77 is at the top of the shop on 306 points. However, the full 90, Matt from the full 90, is just 4 points away on 302 points. So, all to play for. Games come in thick and fast, and this coming game week takes place on Tuesday the 25th of April, Wednesday the 26th, and Thursday the 27th of April. And we start off on Tuesday with Wolves coming up against Crystal Palace. Now, Wolves, surprisingly enough to myself, lost their last fixture 2-1 against Leicester City, and Crystal Palace, after a fine run of forms of 3 straight wins, were held to a 0-0 draw at home against Everton. Another tight one, this one. Wolves, very good at home, resilient, but this is a different Crystal Palace side, so if I was going to pick a side, I'd probably go for Crystal Palace. However, it is at Molineux, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Nathan disagrees with me. He thinks that Wolves are going to come away with a 1-0 home victory. Next up, we got Aston Villa taking on Fulham. Now, Aston Villa currently 6th in the table, held last time away to Brentford 1-1. Either side could have won that, although Brentford did have, I think, the majority of the chances in that fixture. Fulham, after a recent dip of form, now recorded back-to-back wins, and it was a fine 2-1 home win against Leeds. So, another tough one for Fulham, this one. Aston Villa, playing at home though, shouldn't have too much trouble dispatching this Fulham side. I'm going to go for a 2-0 home win. Nathan agrees, however, he thinks Fulham will score in this fixture, and he's gone for 3-1 to Aston Villa. Next up, at 8 o'clock on Tuesday, we got Leeds United coming up against Leicester. Leicester just pulling themselves out of the relegation zone with that win against Wolves in the last fixture. And Leeds, currently in 16th position, 3 defeats on the bounce now. Couldn't get anything in that away fixture against Fulham on the weekend. Another tight one. However, I fancy Leicester scrapping for their lives, and it is 17th against 16th. I think Leicester will just sneak this one 2-1, especially if Iniachu starts. Nathan agrees, he's gone for 2-1 away victory to Leicester as well. We then move on to the Wednesday fixtures, where Nottingham Forest take on Brighton, and Nottingham Forest losing in the end 3-2 against Liverpool, but they did make a good account of themselves there at Anfield. Neco Williams, of course, getting on the score sheet against his old club. Brighton, currently at the time of recording, playing Manchester United in the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. Brighton currently 8th in the league, a victory over Chelsea in their last fixture, and Nottingham Forest, I've already said, losing 3-2 against Liverpool. So I think Brighton having a fantastic season. Nottingham Forest, okay, fighting for their lives, but they have lost their last 4 matches in the league. They should be a little bit stronger at home. However, I do think the Seagulls will come away with a 2-0 away win, and Nathan agrees. However, he thinks Forest are going to score in this game, and he's gone for 2-1 away victory to Brighton. We then move on to Chelsea against Brentford. Now, Chelsea, of course, didn't play in the last game week. Brentford being held to a draw at home against Aston Villa. Another tight one, this one, all under an affair at Stamford Bridge, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Chelsea currently find themselves in 11th position and only 1 win in those last 6 matches. Nathan, however, thinks Chelsea's poor form is going to continue, and he's gone for a 1-0 away victory to Brentford. We then move on to West Ham against Liverpool. Liverpool this season terrible away from home. West Ham in the last couple of game weeks though, a fine 4-0 victory on Sunday afternoon against Bournemouth away, and prior to that they clawed themselves back to draw 2-2, and they've also made progress in Europe as well last week. So Liverpool aren't going to find it all plain sailing. West Ham full of confidence, got a bit of momentum with themselves as well, so I think they will score in this one. But Liverpool seems to have turned a little bit of a corner. Jota's scoring goals for fun at the moment. I think that's 4 goals in his last 2 matches, so I'm going to go for an away win to Liverpool, and I've gone 2-1 to the Reds. And Nathan agrees, however, he thinks they're not going to allow West Ham to score in this one, and he's gone for a 1-0 away win. Next up, we got the big one. We've got Manchester City coming up against Arsenal, first against second. Arsenal 3 draws on the bounce now, so this is really important for them to win this fixture. They are 5 points ahead of Manchester City at the moment. However, the Citizens have got 2 games in hand, so this one could be the title decider. I fancy Manchester City in this one. I think they've just got a little bit too much quality for this Arsenal side at this moment in time. Haaland's on fire, looks absolutely fantastic. So I think it'll be one of the games of the season, and I'm going to go for a 3-2 victory to Manchester City at home. Nathan thinks Manchester City are going to win this as well, but he thinks there's not going to be as many goals as I think there will be, and he's gone for a 2-1 home win to Manchester City. We then move on to the Thursday fixtures, where Everton take on Newcastle. Now, in their last fixture, Everton currently in 18th position in the last of the relegation spots, drew 0-0 away against the resurgent Crystal Palace. Newcastle absolutely destroying Spurs in their last game on Sunday, 6-1. So they're full of confidence. Everton will be a real tough nut to crack. We all know that about Sean Dyche's sides, but I do ultimately see the Magpies breaching that defence, and I can see them coming away with a 1-0 away win. And Nathan agrees, however, he thinks they're going to put 3 past Everton. However, he thinks the Toffees will score, so he's gone for a 3-1 away win. We then move on to Southampton against Bournemouth on the South Coast clash. Bournemouth had a bit of resurgence recently, lost heavily against West Ham 4-0, and Southampton chucking it all away against Arsenal in that last fixture, where Arsenal came back in injury time to record a 3-3 draw. So that was a real body blow to the Saints in that one. But I think this one will end up in a draw as well, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. Nathan, however, thinks the Cherries are going to come away with all 3 points in this one, and he's gone for a 2-0 away win. And the final fixture of this game week sees Spurs taking on Manchester United. What is going on with Spurs? Been smashed 6-1 against Newcastle, currently in 5th position. Last 2 matches they conceded 9 goals. Prior to that Newcastle debacle, they lost against Bournemouth. Manchester United currently in FA Cup action against Brighton. However, they were dumped out of the Europa League by Seville. I think it was something like 5-2 on aggregate overall. However, I think they'll have too much for this Spurs side, who look all at sea at the moment, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 away win to the Red Devils. And Nathan agrees, he's gone exactly the same as me with a 3-1 scoreline. So that concludes our predictions for game week 33 of this 2022-2023 Premier League season. Make sure you leave your scores over at the Super Brew website, and also as a comment as we read each and every one of them. Cardiff City playing on Thursday evening. Whether Nathan does a watch along on that one, I'm not so sure. There will be a vlog though coming out on Nathan's channel probably next Monday for the Cardiff City versus Huddersfield match, which takes place next Sunday. But as always, thank you for joining us once again. Take care, enjoy your midweek football, and we'll see you all in the next video.
My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna